Welcome to Fear Files, where the shadows of the digital world come alive and nightmares seep through the screens. In the quest for fame, some paths lead to the dark unknown, where admiration turns to obsession and reality blurs with virtual terror. Prepare yourself for tales of digital dread and haunting echoes from the abyss of the internet. Join us as we delve into stories where online fame becomes a nightmare. This is Fear Files. Enter if you dare.
Olivia Bennett sat at her vanity, adjusting the angle of her ring light to get the perfect illumination for her latest makeup tutorial. Her followers were eagerly awaiting her live stream. She couldn't disappoint them. With a practiced smile, she hit the record button. Hey guys, it's Olivia here, back with another beauty tutorial. Today we're going to talk about achieving that flawless, glowy look that's perfect for summer. As Olivia expertly applied foundation and highlighter, she read the scrolling comments with a mix of amusement and satisfaction. Her fans adored her, showering her with compliments and questions. She felt a rush of validation with every heart emoji and enthusiastic comment. But amidst the sea of admiration, a peculiar message caught her eye. "I love watching you through your window." Olivia's heart skipped a beat. She forced a smile, dismissing it as a troll trying to get a reaction. She continued with her tutorial, but a nagging unease settled in the pit of her stomach. A week passed, and Olivia had nearly forgotten about the creepy message. She was busy with collaborations, photo shoots, and meetings with brands. Her life was a whirlwind of activity, leaving little time for anything else. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, Olivia returned to her apartment and found a small package on her doorstep. Puzzled, she picked it up and carried it inside. There was no return address. She opened the box to find a delicate silver necklace with a heart-shaped pendant. There was no note, but Olivia knew it wasn't a gift from any of her friends or fans. An uneasy feeling crept over her as she held the necklace in her hand. Her phone buzzed with a notification. A new direct message. "Do you like the necklace? It looks beautiful on you." Olivia's breath hitched. She hadn't posted anything about the necklace, and she certainly hadn't put it on. Panic surged through her as she realized the sender was watching her. Olivia changed her passwords, enabled two-factor authentication, and tightened her security settings. She even installed additional locks on her doors and windows. Despite her efforts, the messages continued, each one more invasive than the last. Photos taken from inside her apartment appeared in her DMs. There were recordings of private conversations she had with her friends. The stalker seemed to know everything about her, down to the smallest details of her daily routine. Her sleep became restless, plagued by nightmares of shadowy figures lurking in the corners of her home. The stress began to take a toll on her appearance, and her followers noticed the change. "Are you okay, Olivia? You look tired," one of her fans commented during a live stream. Olivia forced a smile. "Just been working hard, you know how it is." But her eyes betrayed her. The once vibrant and confident influencer was now a shadow of her former self, haunted by an unseen presence. Desperation drove Olivia to seek help. She contacted the police, but they were limited in what they could do. The messages were anonymous, the photos and recordings untraceable. Olivia felt trapped, her sense of security shattered. She started to withdraw from her social media presence, much to the concern of her followers and sponsors. Her content became sporadic, and her once glamorous posts were replaced with anxious ramblings about privacy and safety. One night, as Olivia reviewed her latest Instagram story, she noticed something chilling. In the background of one of her photos, barely visible, was a shadowy figure standing in the corner of her living room. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She hadn't noticed anyone when she took the photo. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. The stalker had been inside her apartment. Determined to end the nightmare, Olivia decided to take matters into her own hands. She set up hidden cameras around her apartment, hoping to catch the stalker in the act. She also started to research anyone who had been overly obsessed with her online presence. Her investigation led her to Marcus Gray, an IT specialist who had once helped her with a minor technical issue. He had been friendly, perhaps a bit too friendly, but Olivia hadn't thought much of it at the time. Confronting him seemed like the only option. She arranged to meet Marcus at a busy cafe, her heart racing with a mix of fear and determination. As she sat across from him, she noticed the way his eyes lingered on her, the slight smirk on his lips. Olivia steeled herself, ready to face her tormentor. "Marcus, I need to know the truth. Have you been sending me those messages?" Marcus's smile widened, and a chilling gleam appeared in his eyes. "Olivia, I've always admired you. I just wanted to be close to you, to protect you." Olivia's blood ran cold. She realized that Marcus's obsession was far deeper and more dangerous than she had imagined. Olivia returned to her apartment, her mind racing. She knew she had to be careful. Marcus was unhinged, and she couldn't predict his next move. That night, as she lay in bed, she heard a faint clicking sound. Her heart pounded in her chest as she reached for her phone, pulling up the feed from the hidden cameras. Her worst fears were confirmed. Marcus was in her apartment, moving silently through the shadows. He approached her bedroom door, and Olivia felt a surge of adrenaline. She had to act fast. Grabbing the nearest heavy object, she waited in the darkness, her breath shallow and rapid. The door creaked open, and Marcus stepped inside. Olivia swung the object with all her might, striking him and sending him crashing to the floor. She ran to the door, fumbling with the locks as Marcus groaned in pain behind her. She burst into the hallway and screamed for help. Neighbors emerged from their apartments, and someone called the police. Marcus was arrested, his delusions of control shattered. In the aftermath, Olivia struggled to reclaim her sense of normalcy. The ordeal had left deep scars, both physical and emotional. She took a break from social media, focusing on her mental health and rebuilding her life. Support poured in from her followers and friends, reminding her that she wasn't alone. She began to share her story, raising awareness about the dangers of online obsession and the importance of privacy. As the months passed, Olivia found strength in her vulnerability. She rebuilt her career on her own terms, embracing authenticity and genuine connections with her audience. The shadows that once haunted her were now a part of her past, a dark chapter in her life that she had overcome. Olivia emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Emily Dawson sat in her immaculate living room, her face illuminated by the soft glow of her laptop screen. She scrolled through the comments on her latest vlog, her meticulously crafted smile mirrored by the digital applause from her followers. With each like and share, Emily felt a surge of validation. "Hey guys, Emily here, bringing you the latest tips on living your best life. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications." Her followers adored her. They envied her style, her charm, her seemingly perfect life. But beneath the polished exterior, Emily felt the weight of maintaining her digital persona. It was a never-ending performance, and the lines between her real self and her online presence had begun to blur. As she prepared to end her live stream, a peculiar comment caught her eye. "I know your secrets, Emily." She hesitated, her practiced smile faltering for a split second. Dismissing it as another troll, she wrapped up her stream and closed her laptop, the unease settling like a shadow in the back of her mind. A few days later, Emily awoke to a flurry of notifications. Her phone buzzed incessantly, and her heart sank as she opened her Instagram to find a series of photos she didn't remember posting. They were intimate, candid shots of her in her apartment, images she had never taken. Her first instinct was to change her passwords. She spent the morning securing her accounts, convinced that a hacker had somehow breached her defenses. Yet, despite her efforts, the glitches persisted. Tweets she never wrote appeared on her timeline, cryptic and unsettling. Watching you. You can't hide. Emily's followers began to notice the odd posts, their comments shifting from adoration to concern. Are you okay, Emily? This doesn't sound like you. The digital intrusion escalated. During a routine live stream, the feed abruptly cut to a grainy video of an unfamiliar location, a dark, empty room with a single flickering light. The live chat erupted in confusion, and Emily's blood ran cold. Amid the chaos, a new user began to emerge in her comment sections, offering cryptic clues and unsettling predictions about her daily routines and upcoming collaborations. The username was The Watcher, and they seemed to know everything about Emily's life, always one step ahead. Emily's anxiety grew with each interaction. She confided in her best friend, Sarah, but even Sarah's reassurances couldn't dispel the growing sense of dread. Emily felt as if she were being watched, her privacy invaded at every turn. One day, she received a package at her doorstep. It contained a small, worn-out teddy bear, an item from her childhood. There was no note, but Emily knew it was a message from the Watcher. Panic surged through her as she realized the stalker had access to intimate details about her past. Her phone buzzed with the notification, a new direct message from the Watcher. Remember this? I've been watching you for a long time, Emily. Emily's life began to unravel. The glitches and invasions became more frequent, more personal. She started to doubt her own sanity, questioning if she had done something to bring this upon herself. Her followers grew suspicious, their faith in her authenticity waning. Brands began to pull out of collaborations, concerned about the erratic behavior displayed on her accounts. Emily's carefully curated world was crumbling, and she felt powerless to stop it. Desperation drove her to seek help from a cybersecurity expert. She hired a private investigator hoping to unmask the Watcher. But every lead turned cold, and every effort to secure her digital presence was thwarted. Her nights were plagued by nightmares of shadowy figures and faceless watchers. She slept with the lights on, her nerves frayed, and her sense of safety shattered. Emily's investigation led her to Daniel Cross, a former software engineer with a history of hacking and online harassment. He had been a follower of her channel for years, his admiration turning into a dangerous obsession. Confronting Daniel seemed like the only way to end the nightmare. She arranged to meet him in a public place, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. As she sat across from him, she noticed the way his eyes lingered on her, the slight smirk on his lips. Emily steeled herself, ready to face her tormentor. Daniel, I need to know the truth. Are you the Watcher? Daniel's smile widened, and a chilling gleam appeared in his eyes. Emily, I've always admired you. I just wanted to show you the truth, to strip away the facade. Emily's blood ran cold. She realized that Daniel's obsession was far deeper and more dangerous than she had imagined. Emily returned to her apartment, her mind racing. She knew she had to be careful. Daniel was unhinged, and she couldn't predict his next move. That night, as she lay in bed, she heard a faint clicking sound. Her heart pounded in her chest as she reached for her phone, pulling up the feed from the hidden cameras. Her worst fears were confirmed. Daniel was in her apartment, moving silently through the shadows. He approached her bedroom door, and Emily felt a surge of adrenaline. She had to act fast. Grabbing the nearest heavy object, she waited in the darkness, her breath shallow and rapid. The door creaked open, and Daniel stepped inside. Emily swung the object with all her might, striking him and sending him crashing to the floor. She ran to the door, fumbling with the locks as Daniel groaned in pain behind her. She burst into the hallway and screamed for help. Neighbors emerged from their apartments, and someone called the police. Daniel was arrested, his delusions of control shattered. In the aftermath, Emily struggled to reclaim her sense of normalcy. The ordeal had left deep scars, both physical and emotional. She took a break from social media, focusing on her mental health and rebuilding her life away from the digital spotlight. Emily's followers and friends rallied around her, reminding her that she wasn't alone. She began to share her story, raising awareness about the dangers of online obsession and the importance of privacy. As the months passed, Emily found strength in her vulnerability. She rebuilt her career on her own terms, embracing authenticity and genuine connections with her audience. The shadows that once haunted her were now a part of her past, a dark chapter in her life that she had overcome. Emily emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Alex Turner's heart raced as they watched the numbers climb. Overnight, their follower count had surged, breaking the 1 million mark. The engagement on their posts was through the roof, and their inbox was flooded with brand offers and collaboration requests. Hey everyone, it's Alex. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all my amazing followers. You guys are the best. Alex beamed into the camera, their excitement palpable. They ended the live stream with a flourish, feeling on top of the world. But as the initial euphoria faded, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The surge in followers was sudden and unexpected. They had been growing steadily, but this spike was unprecedented. Shrugging off their unease, Alex decided to enjoy the moment. They spent the day basking in their newfound fame, responding to comments and planning future content. Little did they know, their world was about to take a dark turn. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Alex's posts were trending, and their influence was expanding. But with the fame came a darker side. They began to notice strange patterns among their followers. At first, it was subtle. A fan would show up wearing the exact same outfit Alex had posted the day before. Then they started receiving photos of fans at the same locations they had visited, often within hours of their posts. One evening, Alex received a direct message from a new follower. The message was chilling in its familiarity. "I loved your coffee run this morning. That cafe is my new favorite spot." Alex's blood ran cold. They had gone to the cafe on a whim, deciding at the last minute to stop by. How could anyone have known? As the days passed, the messages grew more personal and intrusive. One follower, in particular, stood out: Jamie Cross. They commented on every post, sent direct messages detailing Alex's routines, and even started showing up at events uninvited. Jamie's obsession was all-consuming. They recreated Alex's outfits, hairstyles, and even their daily schedule. Alex began to feel trapped in their own life, every move monitored and mirrored by a stranger. Desperate for answers, Alex hired a cybersecurity expert to investigate. They discovered that Jamie was more than just an obsessive fan. Jamie was manipulating social media algorithms to amplify Alex's visibility, creating a digital echo chamber that magnified their every action. Determined to confront Jamie, Alex arranged a meeting in a public place. They needed to understand why this was happening and put an end to it. Jamie arrived, their eyes gleaming with a mix of admiration and madness. "I've been your biggest fan for years, Alex. I just wanted to be close to you, to live your life." Alex's voice trembled with anger and fear. "This has to stop, Jamie. You've crossed every line. You're destroying my life." Jamie's smile faltered, replaced by a look of genuine confusion. "But I thought this is what you wanted. Fame, followers, attention. I made it all possible for you." The confrontation did little to deter Jamie. If anything, their obsession intensified. Alex's life became a nightmare of constant surveillance and mimicry. They couldn't trust anyone, not even their closest friends, as Jamie's reach seemed to extend everywhere. Alex's mental state deteriorated. They became paranoid, convinced that every shadow hid a stalker, every follower a potential threat. Their once thriving social media presence turned into a battleground of fear and suspicion. In a final desperate move, Alex decided to disappear. They deleted their social media accounts, changed their appearance, and moved to a different city. But the damage was done. Jamie's obsession had left scars that wouldn't easily heal. The story of Alex Turner became a cautionary tale about the dark side of social media fame. Their ordeal highlighted the dangers of digital obsession and the price of living a life in the spotlight. Months passed, and Alex slowly began to rebuild their life. They sought therapy to deal with the trauma and started advocating for online safety and privacy. Their story resonated with many, shedding light on the hidden dangers of social media. Though the shadows of their past lingered, Alex emerged stronger, wiser, and more cautious. They had learned a harsh lesson about the fleeting nature of digital fame and the real-life consequences of virtual obsessions.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the digital darkness. Remember, in the quest for online fame, the line between reality and nightmare can blur. Stay vigilant, for you never know who might be watching from the shadows. Subscribe to Fear Files for more tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, keep your screens close and your fears closer. Like, comment, and subscribe if you dare.